Well, Wednesday time. Additional thoughts, Mac Miller, Circles. I don't think that I have an awful lot to say. This is one of those albums I feel like it's so easy to enjoy. It's pretty easy to take at face value. And so in that respect, not a whole lot to really tear apart and get into in terms of that. But I do have a couple things I would like to say that are, I guess, a little specific. The main thing with Mac and Swimming and with Circles and his passing and my listening to it, I think really I'll touch on the first kind of like the most notable thing was I listened to the whole album and I did not cry, right? I did not cry a lot. Didn't even really cry a little. And I fully expected to, given all the comments that I saw from people about this album and Mac and the songs, because the songs are beautiful. They really are. And somebody left a comment saying, imagine Mac's been dead. You're a huge Mac Miller fan. He's been dead for about 2 years. And then you hear Good News for the first time and how much that hits. And it's like, yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine that. But unfortunately for me, my experience with Mac Miller, I mean, you got to remember, I listened to Swimming for the first time 4 weeks ago. So even though I really enjoy this music and I enjoy what he did, it's a far cry for me to say that, he's changed my life and he's this massive artist for me. And I understand how other people feel that way. But for me, in my experience, unfortunately, I just cannot say, oh yeah, same thing happened to me, because it's not true. That's not genuine, right? But I will say this, and I will put my pen down so I don't accidentally fling it all over the place. Even though I didn't get emotional during Circles or Swimming, really, if I recall correctly, was watching music videos and watching interviews and reading comments and all this other stuff, and really just trying to, I've said before, it's hard on this channel to replicate the real-time experience of an album, whatever it is, whether it's something sad like with Mac Miller passing or something amazing, game-changing like Eyez or whatever. I did go and watch the music videos, and a couple of them are kind of like just visualizers, like Surf is just the same animation looping, and I watched Good News. It's a beautiful, beautiful music video for the song, and it felt like such a great tribute in the beginning where it's got all these animations of Mac, different ages and different poses, and he's doing all these things, and it kind of goes, and the van driving through the desert, whatever. And then it transitions a little bit, and it gets into those spacey graphics and just kind of floating around where the song is really calm and just kind of settling and soothing. And then you get that animation of Mac kind of walking by, he's pointing as he turns around and he's walking and this and that. And you get that window that pops up, much like on the cover of Swimming, right? He's in that, what I called a grave. It looks like a grave, but then there's that window that looks like an airplane window. You can see the clouds in there and stuff. And the window gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then Mac pops through and he goes into the clouds and the song ends. And that got me. That got me because it's beautiful. It's perfect. It's just, that was really, really well done. Really well done. I'm kind of getting a little right now, but so I did have, some emotional. It turns out I am not a dead, cold robot, which is nice. I watched that interview with John Bryan talking about going through and creating the album well after, Mac had passed. I didn't look into a lot of the details, but many of you left comments saying that he worked closely with the family, which is incredible. That's so fantastic that he did that, and that everybody was on the same page and wanted to treat it with respect and do well to the fans and all that stuff. That's great. That's fantastic. I mean, there's been so many artists or bands or whoever that have just pumped out shit after the fact to try and cash in on, a name or whatever. And it's really annoying when they do that. Annoying more so when you're somebody like me who buys it anyway, right? Because I'm just fueling the problem. But it is great to have an album like this that was near completion when he passed, and then have it just kind of get touched up around the edges and released as it should have been. One thing I kept meaning to do and I forgot was I wanted to make a playlist that was swimming and then into circles. So it's, 20 something tracks or whatever, but just those two albums in a row. Because I feel like that would work pretty well. I guess, maybe. I don't know. Dropping from So It Goes into the opening track, which is, I forget the name, off the top of my head, into circles. I don't know. Anyway, I think I'll do that just for the fun of it because it's nice to play around with stuff like that, to see how it flows. In terms of the tracks, Complicated's great. Blue World. Good News is incredible. Woods is really, really grew on me. Cool little beat. Same thing with Surf. That little bit of guitar in there. That's On Me is still my favorite. It's still my favorite. It just, I think I was even singing to it during the reaction. Like dropping into the chorus for the second time. I was like, yep. Just so easy to sing to, that one. And then Once a Day, I was listening to the John Bryant interview and he talked about how, I guess Mac Miller was nervous playing in front of people. He didn't like to do that. And so John Bryant would go out. He'd step out of the room so that Mac would actually play. And he'd just go down the hall and listen. And he was talking about that song specifically, how he just started crying when he was hearing Mac playing and singing this. And I thought to myself, that's kind of interesting. I haven't really had that feeling. But then I realized, again, this is a guy who's working closely with Mac Miller, side by side, friends, close relationship, making music, expressing emotions, all these different things. And so it helped me appreciate that song more. Not that I didn't like it before, but I appreciate it more now. Because I remember saying during the reaction how if it would have closed on that track, I don't know if I would have enjoyed the album as much, but I have a deeper understanding for it now. Just hearing other people's perspectives on it. It really is incredible how much that matters. And how sometimes it'll make me like a song more and sometimes it won't, but it is neat to have a deeper understanding for a song and why it can be so special to people. And Once a Day, that was one of those experiences where I just have a better understanding for it. I still love Right and Floating. I'm glad those two got put on for the deluxe album. Well placed, great songs. I'm really happy with those two. And I guess that's kind of it. I know it's short, but sometimes there's something, what was I going to say? Wonderful about simplicity, but I didn't want to say that this was a simple album. It's simple in this respect of it's really easy to enjoy. I feel like anybody who's never heard Mac Miller before could put this on and go, oh, wow, I like this, despite what they normally listen to. Honestly, I feel like anybody could sit down with a first time listen and, the damn sun, and enjoy it. And there's something cool about that because like on the surface, it seems like, oh, well, that would be easy. Like, this isn't a JPEG Mafia album where it's wild and chaotic and unique, something that you could just never, ever hear before. And in my mind, I always think about how if it's simple and anybody can enjoy it, then I tend to take on this idea of, well, if anybody can enjoy it, then anybody could make it because of its simplicity. But that's not accurate. I liked seeing comments about how Mac Miller, I guess, wanted to just be his own genre. And I feel that is absolutely on the mark here. Is it a blues album? I mean, yeah, kind of. Is it an R&B album? Yeah, maybe a little. Is it like a lounge album? Sometimes, it's this great blend of so many things, and the vocal delivery that Mac uses, that just kind of casual elegance to it. It mixes so well with the music. The music is so patient and so soothing. And it's just great. It's great. And so, on one hand, I go, oh, this is a short video. I feel bad for it. But on the other hand, that's it. It's great. And, yeah, I think about just him not being around. And while I didn't have the real-time experience and that impact, it does suck to think about. Again, I haven't heard his earlier stuff, so I don't have a comparison to his prior music, but to think if this is what he was, the stride that he was hitting, with circles, with swimming, whatever was going to come next, because apparently this was supposed to be a trilogy. Oh man, it would have been really nice to hear like 10 more albums from this guy to see where he went, So there you go. The hand-me-down video was cool too because it's such a beautiful song, and then just seeing all these clips of Mac playing, being happy, just doing his thing with music. That was a cool video too. Regarding his other albums, lots of requests now for Faces, which I understand. The Divine Feminine, I believe, is another one. There's another one, watching movies without sound and kids. And so here's all I'll say about the rest of his albums and what I'm going to do going forward. I don't know. I was thinking about it, like, which one will I listen to next? I don't know. And honestly, right now, I don't have to decide, Maybe it'll be Faces. Maybe it'll be a mixtape, his first mixtape. What? I don't know. I will definitely listen to more Mac Miller. That's for sure. I don't know when. I don't know which album it'll be. We'll figure it out. It'll kind of be, it might be just a spur of the moment type thing. Or maybe someone will give me enough hell to, hey, do this one that, okay, fine, I'll do that one. I'm torn right now because I feel like I want to say this thing, something nice, something special about Mac Miller. But then I also feel like, well, maybe it just won't seem genuine because I've literally been listening to him for 4 weeks, and I don't want to be that person. I don't like inauthentic moments where people are trying to be sincere and trying to say something that sounds really nice and deep and meaningful, but it's like, you just got here. Like, what the fuck are you even talking about, So I'll just say that I really enjoy his music. I really enjoy his style, his sound. I'm happy I've heard these 2 albums. My wife loves these 2 albums. So we're Mac Miller fans in the making. I mean, we are now, but as we continue to explore his catalog, I can only assume that we'll grow to enjoy him even more. And for all those fans out there that are Mac Miller fans, it sucks. It really sucks. And sometimes it's just how it is. There's been some artists who I was a huge fan of that passed young, and it's just like, fuck, man. Because some of these people, man, they reach us in certain ways where, there's never going to be another Mac Miller. It's not going to happen. It's just not. And that, it sucks. So appreciate what we have, enjoy what exists. I guess that's all you can do. Anyway, yeah. Well, Friday, I'm excited. MF Doom, again, finally. Food. It's going to be great because this week has been so fucking busy at work. And I'm excited because I feel like it's going to be an album where I can just get into it and have fun. I don't think I'm going to be taking anything too seriously. I don't think there's anything to take seriously on that album. But at the same time, it's going to be great style, great flow, great lyrical rhythm. I'll look forward to that. And there you go. All right, y'all. Take care, and I'll see you in a couple days.